Do you have a design idea for the next great t-shirt fad? Do your kids need names and numbers on the back of their Little League jerseys? Maybe you want to make a little bit extra money, or maybe you want to start your own business. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how you can design and create your own t-shirts, wall graphics, and decals. I'm going to be using our Clipper vinyl cutter and our CADWorks Live online design software. Stay tuned. CADWorks Live is an online design software that includes easy-to-use text, text effects, clip art, templates, and more. The designs I'm producing today were created 100% in CADWorks Live. We'll create the t-shirt first. This will be for a youth medium shirt. A nice feature in CADWorks Live is our size to fit option. Make sure you have your graphics selected, and then click on size to fit. There's many different options available. We'll make sure that we select youth medium. Click select, and then we'll see our design size that you can see here will be changed. As you can see, the max dimensions are now the 10.5. Once we have our graphic ready, we're ready to send a vector cut. Once we send a vector cut, this is what takes it off of the internet and brings it onto our computer. We'll make this screen a bit bigger so you can see it. I'll also zoom in. The first thing you want to make sure of is that you mirror your design. We want to do this because we're working with the heat transfer material. Also with our clipper, we want to rotate it so that it'll cut across the width of our material. Once we have everything ready to go, we're ready to send a cutter. Once your design has been cut by the clipper, the next step is the weeding process. Weeding is just taking away all the excess material, so just your design is left on the transfer sheet. The best way to weed is to start at one corner and work your way back. The last step is to transfer your design to the shirt. You can either use a home iron or an industrial heat press. We're going to be using the heat press today. We apply it at 310 degrees for 10 seconds. Once it's transferred, we let it cool for just a few seconds, and then we peel the protective liner off. Now we're going to turn this design into a decal. Before we send to the cutter, we want to make a small change. Instead of using the baseball bats, we're going to put in the player name. To do that, we go to Add Text, type in the name, and then you can change the font. There's a lot of fonts available through CADWorks. We'll select this script font. And now we want to change the fill color to white so it shows up well on the black background. Click OK. Finally, we want to make a couple of small changes to the size just to make sure that it fits well. There we go. With script fonts, we want to make sure that we weld it. That'll just make sure there's no intersecting lines. Finally, we're going to change the size slightly. This time, we're just going to change it manually. A good size for a decal is about 4 inches. We go up to the top toolbar here and just change the width to 4, and it will automatically change the height as well. Now we're ready to cut. Again, we send a vector cut. With sign vinyl, we don't actually want to mirror the design. For this, assuming it's going to be the outside of the window, it should be in correct reading format. We'll fit the objects here so you can see it. We are still going to rotate it so it goes through the clipper and optimizes the use of the material. Again, we want to cut all of the colors at the same time. If we want to do a two-color design, we can easily do that by selecting the colors here. we're ready to cut. The next steps are the same with the decal vinyl as it was for our heat transfer. Now we just need to weed away the excess material. The next step for the decal material is a little bit different. With this, we want to apply a transfer mask to it. We'll cut our piece of mask to fit the design. And then we'll just lay it down evenly across the design. Then we'll grab a squeegee and just make sure it's well adhered. Now we'll remove it from the paper liner. To apply the decal, make sure you have a nice clean surface. Position, and then squeegee on. Our next use of this design is going to be to create a wall graphic. For this one, we're going to change the name to the player's number. To do that, we just double click on it, click into the name. We'll just type in number 17. Click OK. And then this one we'll resize a bit. We'll make it a bit bigger. We're also going to resize the entire design. Wall graphics are usually a lot bigger than your standard decal. We're working with the 24-inch media, so we'll make this graphic a full 20 inches wide. Zoom out a bit so you can see it. Again, we're ready to send to cutter. For this design, we actually do want to go across the width of the material, so I'm not going to rotate it the way I had previously. Everything else is ready to go, so we can send to the cutter. The next step with our wall graphic material is the weeding process, same as it was with the decal. Again, we'll start at a corner and work our way back. The mask that we use with the wall graphic material is going to be a little bit different than the mask that we use with our other decal. This mask is going to be a paper mask, and we use it because it has a little bit lower tack. It's also a 12-inch roll, but you'll be able to see how we can layer it. Now that we have our wall graphic masked, we're ready to apply it to the wall. To do that, you just position it. And then you can put it up by hand, working from the middle out. You can also use a credit card in place of a squeegee, just to make sure everything is firmly adhered to the wall. Once you have it up, just remove the application tape. You want to do this slowly, so if you do see any part that comes up, you can just put it back down. Once you remove the application tape fully, just take your credit card and get out any air bubbles. You're all set. I've shown you how to create a t-shirt, a card decal, and a wall graphic all from one piece of artwork. We used our 24-inch clipper vinyl cutter to create everything. Contact us today to learn more about the capabilities of the clipper and additional products that you can create.